Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the offices of 900 AM WURD. I'm Bill Anderson, the morning host here. It's our pleasure to have all of you here to celebrate the person who we know is going to bring the championship back to the city of Philadelphia.
That's right.
Absolutely. There are a couple reasons, actually, that we're here at WURD. You see that Eddie Chambers represents the great American dream, and that means more than just the fact that he's going to go there and take the championship, that he worked hard for it, that he struggled for it, and is going to come back with the belt. But what is historic about this, above and beyond that, is that it was a community effort and a team effort. You've got Rob Murray, Philadelphia, a long history of doing things the right way, and part of the team. You also have the other connection to WURD is our ownership, the Lomax companies, and specifically Dr. Walter Lomax, who, again, as part of this whole connection to history, the great American dream, also was involved in support and funding. This was a community effort, and so the community will win as Eddie Chambers brings the title back to the city of Philadelphia. A couple people we're going to talk to. We just want to welcome everybody, appreciate everything that you've done, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching on teamchambers.tv, all of the sponsors, everyone. But ultimately what we want to do today is send him off the right way, to recognize that Philadelphia supports him, that Philadelphia will be with him, that contrary to what some of the other people may say, everybody here believes he's coming back with it, and show our proper support.
Because, walking around the country is not going to get it, you know what I mean? And, you need financing and things of that particular nature. So I was very fortunate to be able to have a friend of mine who was a referee and an attorney in Pittsburgh, and I had been doing fights at the legendary Blue Horizon in Philadelphia at this particular time, and I was promoting fights. And we want to welcome the mayor, Mike Nutter. We wanted to have some representation so I can really make a move in the sport. I've been around this sport since I was a little boy. I owe a lot of the tribute to the guys like Yank Durham, who had Joe Frazier, who was Joe Frazier's manager and trainer, who also told me when I was a kid that you can manage and you can train a fighter. You understand me? You don't have to be one or the other. I had Sam Solomon, who had Ernie Terrell, had the Spinks brothers. I had Willie Reddish, who had Sonny Liston. You know what I mean? I watched all these guys as a young man grow, and I really was looking for the type of individual that I wanted to work with, who I felt as though I can bring to that level. And when my friend called me from Pittsburgh, he said, Rob, he's an attorney, his name is Ernest Sharif, and he said, Rob, I have something down here you might be interested in. I said, what's that, Ernest? He said, I got a kid down here, I used to ref his fights when he was a kid, and I used to box a little bit with his dad when we were both in the amateurs. And I'm doing some of his fights down here, and he said, you might need to come down and look at him. And he said, he's getting ready to have his 8th fight down here as a heavyweight. And I said, well, Ernest, what do you think he could be? He said, this guy could be something. He said, I see some special things in here, and this is no knock on Pittsburgh, but Ernest Sharif is a guy that has real cliches that he says, you know what I mean? Like certain lawyers can say those cliches. And I said, what do you mean? He said, no reflection to you, Michael Thomas.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Or any other
They'll
lawyer
take
in this
it. They'll
building.
take it.
You know what I mean? He said, listen, man. I said, well, what's the thing? He said, you got to get him out of Pittsburgh. You got to get him out of Pittsburgh. And me and Eddie laugh about this all the time. I said, what's so bad about Pittsburgh? He said, he won't be able to do anything in Pittsburgh. He won't be able to get anything. I said, what do you mean? Pittsburgh's all right. He said, and this is no knock on Pittsburgh. He said, if Muhammad Ali was in Pittsburgh, he'd be driving an ice cream truck. I said, whoa. I said, that made me get in my car, and I got right in my car and drove right to Pittsburgh. And when I got into Pittsburgh, I went into the dressing room, and I'm looking for the fighter. I see all these people in the dressing room, and then I see this guy. I said, he had his robe on and stuff like this. I said, this guy? I said, he's a kid, you know. And then I go over to the other dressing room, and I see Godzilla with a zip gun and 9mm on it. So I see this other guy, he's getting ready to fight. Oh, no, this guy? And then when I look up, and I look at the guy who had the other fighter, and the guy had a funny name, David Chappelle. That was the guy's name that Eddie fought when I first saw him. David Chappelle. I'll never forget it.
That's what happened there.
Absolutely. So what happened is, and I'm looking at the history of David Chappelle, and they said, oh, this guy David Chappelle, man, just broke. He just came out of prison. He just did 10 years. You know what I mean? And the people in this area hoping he goes back. That he's a rough dude. You understand me? So I said, wow, this is gonna be kind of tough. And I see Eddie's little pudgy, nice guy. And when I met him, I said, hey man, I'm Rob Murray. How you doing? Good luck in the fight. And he really couldn't even make good eye contact with me. He was like so humble, and it looked like, I don't want to say he was afraid. You understand me? But he was just such a nice guy to be a fighter.